Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Dexter. You can feel free to make fun of me for being late to the party, but Binge Watchers wasn't around when Dexter was around, and I'm eventually going to do all of the shows. So Dexter was based on a series of books by Jeff Lindsay. I've actually read the first two. This is what Hebrew looks like. The show tells the story of Dexter Morgan, a blood spatter analyst for the Miami PD, who is also a crazy serial killer. But he only kills people who are guilty of horrible crimes, so that makes it okay. Dexter is driven by a need to kill, and he feels that need separates him from the rest of society. So he needs to pretend to be like everyone else, laugh at their jokes, and behave the way people are expected to behave. Basically, he has to play a role. The best thing about the way Dexter's character was established was the fact that he is very much an insane sociopath who commits terrible and brutal murders, but we just like him so much. We're on his side, at least at first, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Even though having a main character who's an incredibly dangerous menace to society and has very few things that make him a good guy is something that's pretty commonplace in high caliber dramas, the first few seasons of Dexter just do such an amazing job in making us connect with this character. Dexter justifies what he does to himself as the right thing to do, with the alternative being just murdering everybody all of the time. And you're right there with him. I mean, obviously he has to cut off this guy's legs and shove them in his mouth. There's no other way. Surely we shouldn't just put him in prison forever with other murdering psychopaths like, say, Oliver Queen. You get my point. You believe Dexter and you want him to succeed in this bloody quest. So yeah, Dexter is a fascinating character, Michael C. Hall is an incredible actor, and the show in general was just this non-stop roller coaster of a twisted and compelling story. For the first 4 seasons. Those first 4 seasons, that is definitive Dexter. For those seasons, if you haven't watched them and you're asking if you should, yes, they're good. More than worth watching. Obviously, they have their stronger and weaker points. I thought that season 3 was not as good as seasons 1 and 2, but as a whole, solid seasons, great story, interesting characters. The dynamics between Dexter and his sister Deborah is great. I could probably make another video just about these 4 seasons being good TV. After that, it's not that it instantly became bad, but started moving between being just more of the same and kind of boring. There's a lot of introspective stuff where Dexter starts exploring himself and his past, and at one point even gets close to being in touch with humanity, but not really. And all of that could be very interesting, but the show goes into the Dexter emo phase, where you get these constant inner monologues about the darkness inside and how nobody understands me and I walk this path alone. Seriously, it reminded me of that episode of Friends with Bruce Willis where Rachel asks him to kind of open up and then he just won't stop crying all of the time and she's sorry she even asked. At some point it was just, Dexter, please just horribly murder and mutilate someone, please. So after the first 4 great seasons, it's still a lot of fun to watch, but a lot of these concepts just get done to death, especially with Dexter's love interests. Seasons 5, 6, and 7 kind of have this cycle where generally the show is still good, it's fine, very high production values, the stories and the cases are kind of interesting. There's some exciting drama in the police department and in Dexter's life. It's kind of more of the same, and some of the side stories just don't have anything to do with anything. So it gets into this sort of boring routine, and then something happens. Like a big twist or reveal, something that raises the stakes and makes you feel that the show is back on track and it's about to return to its former glory. And then it just takes a turn right back into the same type of stuff it's been doing for like the past 3 seasons. And the final season, what happened there? It's like the writers just said, fuck it, this ship is sinking anyway. I mean, even the bad seasons of Dexter could still compete for your attention with a lot of other TV shows and still come out on top, because the performances are always great, and even if the story gets kind of boring, the characters are usually interesting. Deborah is always interesting. She was by far my favorite character in the show. But season 8 just takes a freaking nosedive. Nothing makes sense. It doesn't feel feel like a final season. The ending feels like Dexter had a bet with Breaking Bad, and whoever won gets an amazingly satisfying ending, and whoever lost just has to come up with the shittiest ending possible. And Dexter lost that bet in like a bad way. So the show as a whole goes like, this is pretty good. Like season 1, season 2, yeah, I'm into this. Season 3, season 4, holy crap, season 4, season 5, 6, and 7, season 8, what? Bottom line, should you watch it? Well, I assume that if you were going to watch Dexter, you probably already did, but if you didn't, I definitely recommend getting into it. Just consider that the show peaks at the end of season 4, but you might be interested enough in the characters to want to continue. Seasons 5, 6, and 7 still have some good moments in them and are not bad television. They're just not at all at the same level like seasons 1 through 4, and they tend to get a little redundant and repetitive and superfluous and unnecessary. Ha! Joke! Season 8, I would say, is just not worth your time. Seriously, if by the end of season 7 you still care about the show, maybe just watch the couple final episodes of season 8, just to see the mess of an ending. What about you? What did you think about Dexter? Who was your favorite Dexter villain? There were some really good ones. If you're talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And remember, you can go to bingewatchers.space/vote and vote on what gets reviewed next on this channel. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community talking about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time. But Dee Dee blows his experiments to smithereens. It is gloom and doom where things go boom in Dexter's lab.